Hey, welcome everybody. This is Joe Hexotic, aka XO Joe. This is Experience, Strength, and Hope on Friday. We're going to be doing a series of these on Fridays for approximately the next 6 weeks, I believe. So thank you for joining us. We have a very special guest this morning, somebody that inspires me in Hex. Actually came into Hex, and well, I guess I'll find out exactly when he came into Hex because I don't know, but came into Hex streaming after I did. And he's one of the people that I've been able to watch and sort of critique, right? Because it's sort of what I do. And I've just been so inspired by Markable. My guest is Markable Thoughts tonight. Or excuse me, today. So to watch him come on the scene and see what he did to make an impact, to have Crypto Coffee want to stream with Markable right away, to have Brand want to stream with Markable Thoughts right away. Myself included, I reached out to him immediately when I saw him. And it was really cool to see the community support Markable, to see Markable fit right in. And he brings something so amazing to the table. He's so great on the Wake Up Hex, on Discourse Syndicate on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He's just a great addition to our community. I've had a lot of fun with him on stream so far. And I'm really looking forward to today where we're going to get some one-on-one time, get to really know Markable. And before that, just shout out to Naga Bo, and we'll see you after the intro. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Say it. Say it. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Again, this is XO Joe, aka Joe Exotic, and welcome to Experience, Strength, and Hope. I'd like to get right into the show this morning and welcome my very special guest, Markable Thoughts.
Hey.
You made it.
Dude,
how's it going?
It's funny. I make intros, and I'm currently making the Wake Up Hex intro.
Awesome.
And this intro of Nagabo is the best I've ever seen. Like, I always, when I see the intro, I'm like, let's go. I'm ready to roll, and it's
Thank you.
It's a good intro.
You know what's cool about it is like the rawness of it and the choppiness of it. It's not perfect, but it's like it captures that moment, and it's impacted me a lot. It used to be Brand's intro. It was so fun to make. I love Naga, and to have what happened was he did a little bit of a commentary over the Fiesta beat, right? So he went on stream, and I saw that, and I love that song from a long time ago. So I grabbed the instrumental and I rebuilt the bass underneath the song because I couldn't just have his clean vocals. So it had a bit of music behind it. So I had to sort of match that. So that's why it's like really raw and choppy like that. Yeah.
Nice.
So thank you.
That.
I'm glad you like it, Markable.
That's cool.
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. Got into everything a little bit fast. I just want to shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hodl Dog was here first. Markable, of course, second. Hex Clips, Inviting Freedom, Jonas, Dorsey, Toby Wan, my man Toby Wan. How's it going, brother? BSOT, Nas Hex. Wow, guys, thank you for joining us already this morning. So Experience, Strength, and Hope is a show about overcoming obstacles, about getting to know Hexicans and how we got here, right? What was life like before Hex? How did we find out about crypto? How did we find out about Richard Hart? And what's our experience been like in this community, which is so powerful. So Markable, I feel funny because I'm I don't know what your age is. I feel like a big brother in the sense that I was here but a little bit before you, right? So I've been watching you, and I'm so like, I love what you do, right? So this is really an honor to have you on the show, and I'd love to just get right into it and have you tell us a little bit about your life, about who you are, and then we'll pick up, after your background story, just really the impact that you made in getting into Hex. What you did that year previous to it was so impactful to me personally. You working on what you wanted to do. You set a goal and you more than reached it. So I'd love to go back with you, Markable, as far back as you want to go and get as deep as you want to get, brother. So
welcome to the time machine. Yeah, man, it's a pleasure to be here. We wanted to do this for a long time already, but it just never really worked out. And it's kind of it's a recurring pattern that I see in my life, where I just say, well, I'm gonna do this, and I know the steps already, and then I go and do it. It's really that simple. And like, I'm 24 right now, and so I really start to learn about those patterns now and how to like actually master life as far as you can do it. And I get that more and more now that I make videos, now that I actually start to talk and start to try and help people with stuff and help myself as well. I start to get more and more that people actually tell me they appreciate me, and that I'm like what's the word?
To me, you're a unique character that brings a lot of animation to our community. You're just you have a lot of personality, and there's nobody else like you. Like a lot of us Hexicans, we're all very much cohesive and similar. But yeah,
I have someone close though.
Yeah.
I have someone close.
There is one person, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But that's cool to hear, man. And I really want to. I don't necessarily go out to inspire people, but it just kind of happens by being such a personality, by just being whoever I want to be. And nowadays, it's kind of hard to be who you want to be. And I guess that if you're being who you want to be, then you're inspiring people because they want to do that as well, because that's basically what makes you feel good, right? And it's really cool to hear from people that I'm inspiring them, because I'm in my head, I'm just doing random stuff. And like a few years ago, I would never guess that someone would get inspired by me, because I was not just like everyone, right? You're not the same person like you were 10 years ago. And 10 years ago is a long time for me, because then I was 14. I just got on, like, when do you go to high school? Like 12 or 13 or something like that.
13, yeah.
And I was really uncomfortable, just in general. Didn't really understand people, didn't really understand social dynamics at all. And I just wanted people to like me, but they didn't really like me. And it's kind of tough like that. And just like we mentioned, there's someone that looks like me, talks like me, and I have a twin brother. What's the word when identical twins?
Identical, yeah.
And interesting was that in primary school, I started to gain a little bit more weight, and in the beginning of high school, I started to gain a lot more weight, and eventually I was 20 kilos. So I don't know what that is in pounds, like 40 or 50.
Yeah, 48 pounds.
Something like that. Eventually I was 48 pounds heavier than my twin brother, and that kind of made me not necessarily, I wasn't necessarily comparing myself to my brother, because it was just my brother. For me, he's not my twin. To me, he's my brother, right? So it's not necessarily I was comparing him with me, but other people did that for me, because you're a twin. So I became like the fat twin, and not necessarily that people were picking on me or that they were bullying me, because I was always stronger. So I would beat you up if you would do that. So it's like, no one's going to do that. But it makes you really insecure, right? Because you're kind of like, it doesn't really fit. And it's like, it's the other person does some things better than me, and I wasn't really comfortable in life, and that's basically a teenager, I guess. I just started to push away from a lot of stuff. Like, I had some anger issues in primary school where I would just beat some people up just because they were annoying. But apparently I had stuff to say, and I had like a message. I just didn't really understand it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically in high school, I started to push away from a lot of stuff. I started to smoke, I started to drink, and all that stuff. Just because I didn't really care anymore. Like, if being mad and being angry doesn't work for because I wasn't agreeing with my outside world and also with my inside world. If being angry doesn't help, then you just stop caring, and that's what I did. And
Markable, I've never thought about what it must feel like to compare yourself to essentially yourself, to an identical twin. I put myself through hell in life comparing myself to everybody else. I still have trouble, and I've just never thought about it before. I've never had the opportunity to speak to somebody that I'm glad you brought this up, because it's a perspective that I just didn't really understand. I've never thought about. So when you compare yourself to your best friend or a guy down the street, your neighbor, those things, like, you can sort of justify why there's differences. But when it's identical twin, I'd love to hear, just more about that. Like, just anything more about that. It's very new.
It's an interesting concept. That's for sure. I never really realized that the comparison thing and how it shaped me until like last year or something, when I actually had a conversation with my brother Eric. We didn't really talk a lot because we're kind of like the type of twins that need to stay away from each other, and then sometimes it's good, but don't stay. Like, there are constructive twins and destructive twins.
I didn't know that.
I also didn't know that until like 2 years ago or something. But apparently that's a concept where you have constructive twins that thrive when they're together, and so it's a good thing that they're together a lot of times, because they build on top of each other and they just make a better life when they're together a lot. But then you also have destructive twins where they, if you put them long enough together, they will murder each other. Basically, like, that's not a good idea to keep them together for too long. And I think it might also be a little bit with your upbringing, and if the school you're going to is putting you together in a class, and if they're like, probably it has something to do with that as well. But we kind of grew up to be like the destructive kind of twins. We had a lot of fights and we had a lot of arguing, and it took a while before we actually started to realize again how awesome it is to be a twin.
Is there still synergy in you guys having no connection like that, in a sense, like where you can't be together?
There's a lot now that that we understand ourselves more. Now we can do anything, man. Like, the way I see it is like, you got the DNA strand, right? Like, that goes like this. It's kind of the same with me and my brother. Is we are in completely different situations. Like, for example, he's now in the Dominican Republic doing some brand. He's a brand manager for a really big brand of a guy that lives there. So he's in the Dominican Republic. I don't miss him at all. It's like, yeah, he's there. He's doing his thing. So we're in a completely different situation right now. But I already know that in a year or whatever, if he comes back or whatever we want to do, we get to that point where we're exactly in the same position, exactly what we need to do comes together, and we have completely different skills. But then also everything comes together, and then we do other stuff again. Yeah. And then you just constantly get better. But you're always going up, because he's kind of the same with me in his mindset and mentality. So basically, we're constantly doing new stuff and we're learning, and then we come together and we do awesome stuff, and then we go our own thing again. But it took me until last year or something that I actually had a conversation about my feelings with him since 20 years, something like that, probably. So it was really interesting.
How did that come about? That conversation, that particular one.
He's a little bit better at emotions and triggering conversations, and he's a bit better at the social kind of stuff. I like to be in my own, and I can deal with stuff myself very well. But I sometimes just forget to incorporate people with that. Like lock me up in a room and I'm fine.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit better at finding those dynamics and actually dealing with it. And he just didn't let me get out of the car until we started to talk until I actually looked him in the eyes for longer than a second.
So he initiated he knew, he wanted to have a talk with you. He wanted to
he knew there was, like, after 20 years of not having a good conversation about feelings, there's probably something there.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful he did that, because then we found out that the reason why I didn't really care about stuff was because of the comparing that everyone did in the outside world.
Jeez.
So you got constant. So you're always a twin, right? So people constantly see two identical dudes, and you better be on the same level, or otherwise you're down there, right? So I didn't even care about the comparison with him, but I do care about the opinion of other people that compare him to me. And so what happened, apparently, and this goes way back as well, from like beginning of high school, if he would go dancing, like he did some breakdancing, I would go do boxing. Or if he would go, like, another example or whatever, we didn't really do this, but if he would go swimming, I would go running or something like that. Like, better to not care about what he's doing and just do something else than to do exactly the same, so that people can compare you, like, oh, he's better.
Yeah. And, Markable. My girls are about 2.5 years, or actually 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days apart. My oldest daughter's 5. And I was raised in a big family. So I feel like I was compared a lot. I feel like my mother was compared me a lot to my brothers and sisters. And I never liked that. And that's just my brothers and sisters. So, I mean, I can imagine what it feels like when it's like like what we're talking about. It's got to be amplified just that much more,
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not even, like, because I don't see him as a twin. It's just, that's just what happens. He just looks.
No, I mean, from the outside looking in, right? Like, I don't want anyone to ever compare my daughters, right? So, like, I try my best not to. I don't ever try to say, do it more like this, or your sister's like that, because I know what it feels like. So I think from the outside looking in, everyone is so critical of everybody else, and we love to compare. We love to discern,
because it's also fun.
Yeah.
And it's definitely an interesting dynamic, the whole comparing stuff, and it's just doesn't really do anything, actually.
And so after that conversation, when you had the heart to heart, and you want to tell me more about it, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do want to know if there was more, and then afterwards, like, what was it like, after that initial conversation?
Well, that was the first time I probably, like, for the last 20 years, it was the first time I actually cried in front of his eyes. I don't really cry that much, but I try to do it more often, just because every time you cry a little bit, something unlocks and you start to understand something in a better way. So I found that since then I started to understand, oh wait, crying is helpful. But what I learned is how deep that dynamic went, from not trying just because then you can't be compared. And also you could translate that to not try because then you can fail. Because I would also not make a move for a girl, or for a job, or for school stuff, or whatever, just so that I couldn't, just so that people couldn't say, ha, told you so, or like your brother can do it, but you can't, because he was also a bit better with what I said, the social dynamics. So he was also a little bit better with girls, and then it might as well not try, and might as well just say it's stupid anyways, and then to try, right?
Is there some benefits that maybe a lot of us aren't aware of right now to what happened there, other than you finding your own completely separate path? Is there like almost like you have a goal to reach that you can never quite get there, because your brother almost feels like to you, in the way the world treats him, like he's just a step ahead of you? Do you think that and maybe did he maybe feel that way in return about you?
Yeah,
And then
that's what we found out.
Yeah,
that's what we found out in the car, is that I was way better at other stuff, and I didn't even notice. Like, I just did the stuff, and exactly for him, like, he didn't know that I was thinking like that, because he was just doing the stuff, and of course you're not thinking about that.
Yeah.
And so it's exactly the same the other way around, and that was interesting, because he was just as insecure as I was, but just on other type of things. And it's interesting how that, like, you don't know that about each other for so long, you know?
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Wow. So right now, do you have any apprehension? I gotta ask, because if it was me, right, like you're in your Markable Thoughts in the Hex community, right, and it's you've made quite a place here for yourself in our community, a home, and I've seen you bring your brother around. Do you have any apprehension about bringing your brother around? That
I'm sorry, what is apprehension?
Feelings of worry because he may outdo you. You know?
Oh,
Is
no.
Is that possible?
That's gone, man. Like,
okay.
That's completely
was it dropped
resolved
in that conversation, or is slowly over time?
No, I was already gone in the before that conversation, because we learned so much about ourselves that we both basically have the mentality of we can do anything. It doesn't really matter what, we'll figure it out anyways. And we've been proving ourselves that we are that good at life. Like, we constantly give each other or ourselves challenges, and like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Like, just a quick
anecdote
detour. Yeah. When in 2018, I was at university, and I was really bored, but I wanted to finish it. It was business administration I studied, and there was this possibility of doing an internship. Well, you had to do an internship for half a year, and there was this possibility of doing that abroad. And then half a year later, after that internship period, there was also an opportunity to go abroad for just studies for half a year. And so I thought, well, what if I just do both? And then the month in between that I have holiday, I will also just go to a different country and work there for a month. So I went to Germany without being able to speak German. I went for the
what
internship.
Part of Germany? What part?
Munich.
Okay,
so in the south.
Yeah.
And then I went 1 month to Mallorca to sell tickets just party tickets on the beach to random people.
Is that, you say Mallorca?
Mallorca. So that's
is that in Spain?
Yeah, it's an island
next to Spain, or in Spain?
Yeah, it is from Spain, but it's like an island of Spain. It's like a party hotspot. So I sold party tickets on the beach to random groups of strangers for a month. And then I had half a year.
What was that like, real quick, Markable, for someone that's a little bit introverted at the time?
Yeah. So then, wait. So half a year after that, I went to Norway. And then 3 completely different situations, different languages, different cultures, different everything, different people, different house, everything. And I had never left the house, as in I never lived somewhere else than at my parents' house. So I thought, well, I can do that. And 3 times it was perfect. It was perfect opportunity. And every time after 2 or 3 weeks, I was completely self-sufficient. I could do anything I wanted. That proves stuff to me. About the tickets on the beach, a year before that, I challenged myself to do door-to-door sales.
Wow.
Just to learn more social dynamics, just to learn how to sell stuff, because everything in life is selling. And I figured, well, I can be a dipshit, but better to be someone weird that can sell something real good than being someone weird that doesn't understand how to convey how weird he is. So I started to do that, and I was really bad at it, like really bad. And my brother was really good at it. Like from the first moment of doing door-to-door sales, he did it as well. Because we both kind of made the agreement, all right, we're going to get better at social dynamics and we're going to get better at this stuff. So he did it as well. He sold loads of contracts just straight out the gate. He was just good at it.
Yeah.
And then I got there, and you get like 5 or 10 days of just training or of just practice stuff. And if you don't perform after the 10th day, then you're out. And so I started trying, but every time I knocked or rang the bell, I could only say, or first I was just hoping that no one was home, so I could just go to the next house.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I would just be able to say hello. And then I forgot my whole script, and I just stood there awkwardly. I was really bad at it. I didn't sell anything for the first like 6 days or something. And it was even that bad that my sales coach, he asked my brother, because my brother was good. So he asked my brother, like, why isn't your brother performing? Like, what's happening? If he doesn't, should I just fire him, or what are we going to do? And then my brother said, well, just give him a few more days. He will figure it out. Because he knows that sometimes I'm pretty slow with learning stuff, but once I understand, then I'm golden. Like,
yeah,
I'm constant, and I just go. And yeah, that was exactly what happened. He gave me a few extra tips, and at the end of the year, he was the second. Like, there's a leaderboard of the whole company throughout the Netherlands, who sells the most contracts. My brother was the second in the Netherlands, and I became fifth.
Wow.
With amount of contracts that people actually keep, like net contract worth. I became fifth of the Netherlands within a year. I got really good at it. Like, right now, I wouldn't even try. Like, if I sell stuff at the door right now, I don't even have to try. Just have conversations with people, and people buy stuff. And that's exactly what happened in Mallorca as well. I knew how to do it from door to door, just have a conversation with people that were already home. But now I thought, well, what happens if I do it on a beach where everyone wants to be left alone, and there's groups of people instead of just one person? So you're the odd one out, and it's really awkward, and it's just completely different dynamic. And I was terrified for it. But it worked really well. Within a month, I was the leading seller of the whole team. People didn't really like me in the team because I was selling way more than them. And then after a month, I had to go. So my team leader wasn't happy with that. But
now, were you out there enjoying the nightlife as well when you were doing that? Were you attending those parties?
I stopped drinking and smoking. I just I've been sober for 2.5 years now.
Awesome. I didn't know that. That's great.
And back then I smoked a lot.
Yeah.
But I didn't drink. And that was also why I sold way more. It's because I didn't go out. Like, I just smoked some hashish on the balcony, and then I went to bed. And then the next morning, start with a juice, go to strangers and sell them stuff. And it just worked really well, man.
Did you have to make drugs and alcohol less impactful in your life, or did it just never become anything?
Well, so in high school, I started to drink a lot. Not necessarily young, like, well, for Americans, maybe it's young, but like it's 15, 16, started drinking. And I drank until 17, I think, but like a lot. And then I found out that weed was way more fun or
Yeah.
way more my vibe than drinking.
Yeah.
Like I just want to chill, man. And so weed is really good for that. And
Yeah.
weed brought me some insights, and it brought me some good friends, and it brought me some good stuff. But at the end of the day, I started smoking every single day, and then I didn't do anything. I can kind of sort of remember a summer holiday where the half of the summer holiday was gone, and I was like, wait, what did I do? Like I had
Right.
memory whatsoever of like 2 months. It was crazy, and then I knew I had to stop smoking weed. But then I already didn't drink, so I didn't drink, and then I stopped weed, and that was kind of hard.
What about MDMA coming from the Netherlands? I would think that would be everywhere. Is that just because
Yeah,
I'm
it
a
is.
stereotype as an American? I think that.
No,
or?
no,
Okay.
no. On parties, there's a lot of MDMA, and different kinds of like
So
ecstasy
was
and all
that?
that stuff.
What's your view on that as you were growing up? What did that look like to you? Was it just just another party drug?
I was
Was it
actually
a hard?
pretty. I was pretty lucky with that because no one like once you turn like 18 to 20, it's that. Of course, you're gonna try it once. But I was lucky that I went to festivals. Like, do you know hardcore or no?
Yeah,
Hardstyle.
happy hardcore. Yeah. It
Well,
depends.
yeah, that's
Art,
like a
like
subgenre of that, I guess.
electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like who? I know. I'd like to say yes, but I don't think I do. So
No, I have to show you at some point.
Okay.
It's more of a Dutch thing, I guess, or more of a European thing, if anything.
It's 130 BPM, 4 on the floor, and then what defines it? Like
No,
what
it's
else
not
would you say?
130. It's like 200 or whatever.
Oh wow. No.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Hardstyle might be 140. I'm not really that good at the music theory. Or 180 might be.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything is more than 180 if that's listenable. It would not seem to be able to be listened to.
But anyways, I went to a lot of festivals when I was 18, and a lot of people were on drugs there. And I had the luck that I had friends that that also didn't really want to do the drugs. Like they didn't. We kind of made a rule, like why would we be so stupid to get it? Because we liked the music so much, and we liked the vibe so much of just being around the people, that kind of the stuff that happens with when you take ecstasy or MDMA is just some trigger in the mind. And so we just learned for ourselves to turn that up and to get all that dopamine out.
Come on.
For ourselves. So
that's
like,
incredible, Mark. I'm not surprised either. That they're saying that for you.
And at those parties, no one believed that I was sober. Like I didn't even drink. I didn't smoke. Well, I did smoke, but I didn't drink. I didn't have any drugs in my system. But my pupils were like this, and it was like it took me like 2 years to understand. Oh wait, I look like I've had drugs because I just trigger it in myself because it's so much fun. And what that did was most people get reliant on that stuff. And then they start telling me stuff like, oh, I wouldn't be able to do what you're doing right now. I wouldn't be able to party this hard without the drugs and all that shit. And when people started to say that, I was like, I'm never going to take that stuff, because what happens if I do it once, right? And everyone says, yeah, it's not addictive. Okay, cool. But if I do it once, then I know what it is. And I know it's like kind of like a shortcut, So next time I'm at a party, I don't want at least 1% of my mind thinking, oh, I could do it, but I won't. Like I don't want to be able to or have to make that decision. For me, it's just, no, it's not happening. Because I know I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, but also a lot of weed, and I know how that goes with me. And I'm more of the type of guy that says, well, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Why not? We can do it. Doesn't really matter. And so I already knew about that. And I also started to understand how weak people get by relying on stuff. And so I was like, well, I'll just make it a point to not rely on that stuff, or I'll just make it a point to not do that stuff. It's kind of like one of those beginnings of understanding that you can do anything with your mind if you wanted to.
Yeah, sounds like it. That's amazing. And I can see you in that environment, and I can see you having a good time. You know, it's kind of funny. Like I just imagine you're growing up really comparing yourself to everybody else, your brother. So you're really like empathizing in a way, in a sense, a lot. And then you get in a party scene, and you can feel everybody's feelings, you know, and you can. You're somebody that facilitates a good time, right? Like you're there to add to it, right? It doesn't have to be about you. That's what I love about you is a piece of the puzzle. You don't have to be the main centerpiece, you know. So I can see you in that environment, and I'm perplexed. I just I don't know how you have that brain power, that inner strength, and that clarity at such a young age, and especially being geographically located. Well done, Markable. You know, that's
it just makes sense in a way. Like I just think, and then I'm like, well, this doesn't really make sense in the long term. So why doesn't really make, well, what I said, it doesn't really make sense. Yeah. Real quick on the part of I don't have to be in the center of stuff. I just am part of the puzzle. Funny enough, if you don't try to be the middle of everything, you become the middle of everything. Like if you don't try to be liked, then you become liked. And
I've seen you share that secret before, Markable, and you're right.
It's a really big thing. Like if you don't try to be rich, odds are you're getting more rich or easier. Like that's what I noticed in business a lot, and that's why I was pretty successful at the business that I had as a videographer, but then it was a lot of traveling and events. So then the whole Rona stuff just cleared that away, and then I also didn't really feel like rebuilding it. But I wasn't really trying to make a profit. I wasn't really trying to get the best clients ever. But I did understand who the best clients were, and I did understand how to get a lot of money. And then most of it just comes down to being a cool guy and understanding opportunities and then giving them away, because, you know, opportunities are endless, so they will come back anyway.
Right. Yeah, you've inspired me to do the same. I'd like to get paid, don't get me wrong, but I do a lot of work for free, and it's in the inspiration that you provide, exactly you, from what I've heard you say on stream. So nice. You've impacted me positively, you know, in exactly that manner. So thank you.
Cool. Yeah, that's great to hear, man. That's exactly why I do, why I share the stuff that I do, because there are more people that get triggered by it, and not necessarily that you didn't know how it worked, but it's more like you got kind of triggered by, oh yeah, of course, and let's just do it, you know.
It's what you have that you deem important is helping other people, and you put that above money, and therefore money follows. And
people love to give you money if you help them.
Yeah, and it's like counterintuitive, because, you know, as someone who's like right now, I'm on the cusp of just came from really struggling to I may never struggle again financially.
Nice. Congrats, man.
Thank you. But right on that cusp where like it's Hex and a lot of it's staked. So a lot of it's, you know, it's coming out in the future. It's very healthy for me. It's very good. So I want to work. I want to have an income right now. And it's at the same time, I really just want to do work that I love. Yeah. So when it came down to it, that I could get paid for work that I did not really enjoy, that didn't really have my heart in it, or I could do things in the community, even if it's just as simple as like making memes, you know, and like just
memes are important, man.
Yeah. And I don't mean to minimize it, because it's a big deal to me, and I know a lot of people are put a lot of time and effort into it. It's just I'm just very grateful to have the opportunity to work in the space of Hex and Richard Hart and Pulse, and with the Cutthroats and Discourse Syndicate, working for something all together because we love it and we do it for free is amazing. And now there's some, you know, people trailblazing different ways to make incomes in this space while not, you know, going against our principles, which is important to me. So you're somebody that, like, I know whenever anybody's talking about looking for a videographer or somebody to put together on a team, I'm like, you've thought of Markable, right? You've thought of Markable, and you know, from the best, you know, OGs in Hex. I shouldn't say the best, from the OGs in Hex. That's the response that I get from them is, oh yeah, we're working with Markable. We already talked to him, you know, and like, it makes me happy because I know that you deserve that, because that wasn't your intention. You're not going out seeking that. You're trying to make this, you're giving of yourself, you know, and making our community better. And then to see that come back full circle and now, you know,
It's a piece
hopefully
of the puzzle,
some income
man.
will follow, you know, is what I guess what I'm saying.
That's the funny thing. Like, now that you don't have to try, or now that you don't have to care about getting paid, now you're gonna get paid. Like, you're gonna get paid way more than initially thought, because you don't really care anymore. Now you're just providing value, and it just so happens that value gets you paid. It's interesting that you said that I didn't, that this wasn't my goal. But it's kind of was.
Oh, like, okay.
Well, it's in the.
Did you learn along the path then that there was more to, you know?
I see opportunities before I know what opportunities are. And what I mean by that is to just have a really practical example. I was already in Hex way before I started to do this. I was I didn't do anything with the AA, which was completely stupid. Still regret it, but oh well. But I did claim my Bitcoin on day one.
Okay.
And I thought that was enough, but I didn't really look at anything for a year, and then I later found out that it was really little. But it doesn't really matter, right? I was in Hex and I was finding stuff out. I was there.
So you're one of the guys that was targeted through that you could get a little bit of Hex and watch it blow up, and then you would come in because nothing else blew up as fast as your Hex, right? Like that was the point of the free claim?
Not necessarily. Okay. I was just completely done with crypto at that point. I was there from 2017, got wrecked. I was like, I don't have any money anyways. And now I really don't have any money. I was kind of wrecked. I still had some Bitcoin. But I was listening to Richard all the way, constantly.
Oh, okay, cool.
I just really liked the guy, and he was the only genuine person that I found, and that was actually smart. So I was listening to him, and he was talking about Hex at some point, and I was like, okay, I don't care about anything anymore, crypto or whatever, but I will check Telegram sometimes for if Hex already launched or not, or if it's already done or not. So it was already on the radar at the moment he started to talk about it, because I knew it was good because he was making it. And so I started to keep that on my radar. And then I just claimed the Bitcoin that I had. I actually bought more Bitcoin with all the money that I had in my bank account, just so that I could get the snapshot, and then I sold the Bitcoin again. Because I thought that was enough, but it was really little. I found that out later.
I got a question for you, Markable. Did you have your, and I'm assuming BTC works the same as Ethan, I don't know, did you have your funds in a centralized exchange and you had to learn the process of taking ownership?
No, it wasn't my wallet.
It was already yours.
No,
okay.
I understood that exchanges were the devil.
And what about the signing of it? Because I'm not familiar with BTC and the signing of the wallet. There was there
was just a video that Richard made about how to sign, and I did exactly that.
And is that something that you've ever had to do since?
No.
Okay.
I don't have Bitcoin.
Okay.
Stay away from it.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking.
I just signed it once, and then I just worked because I was just following the instructions, and I kind of understood crypto because of 2017 and all that. So it wasn't really exciting for me. I was just now I claimed it. Okay, now I have it. We'll see what happens.
Was it wild to watch those gains blow up from even a little?
I didn't look at it. That's the whole thing.
The whole time.
Nothing. Wow. Because I was looking at it the first day and the second day, and I was like, "Well, this is stupid. There's nothing."
goes
why
my
am
money?
I wasn't necessarily thinking the project was stupid or the product.
No,
It
but the
was
price drop, right? So
Oh,
first thing.
I didn't even know where to look for a price. So
Oh, okay.
I
All
was
right.
looking at stuff but constantly, and I was like, nothing's happening, and I was mentally I was way younger then, and I was like, this is stupid. I better do something else in real life, and I'll just leave this. I have it anyways.
Right.
And then I started to build the business, and I did the things, and um,
And so I
2019,
know
and
I know you've gone into great detail about that a couple other times. Would you mind just real briefly going through that and what you did in that year?
what?
That as far as if I'm at the same time,
Oh, yeah. So
you set a
when
goal, right?
oh yeah, that's later. That's in
Okay.
2020.
Oh,
But
okay.
before that, I just finished university, and I didn't want to be in an office, so I better build a business in whatever. And I found out that I kind of liked editing videos, and to be able to edit videos, you need to be able to film videos. So I picked up a crappy camera, went to my mom's bakery, and I filmed my first promo video. I just made it for her, filmed it, edited,
Do you
and then I
still have
found
that?
out, yeah,
Yeah.
I still have it,
I would love
and
to see that.
and I can show it. Maybe I have it on this computer, and we'll see.
I bet a lot of people would love to see that.
But anyway, I made that, and then I found out that people really liked it, and that I was pretty good at it, and then I could also get paid for it. So I was like, well, this is basically the only thing I can do right now to get money. So let's just do this. And then I did I did a ton of just free stuff, went to free parties and all that just to film. Edited some videos, and I got really good within a few months, just by YouTube tutorials and all that. Then I found some different contacts. Then I started to get to just volunteer at high quality events for public speakers, just to get closer to high paying clients. Then I went to a client and said, "Hey, can I just film you?" He was a public speaker, as that was his job, or that was his business, and he just at that point needed a videographer. So I would just do it for him, and then I would just get different contacts from that and all that. I got really good at making videos for him. Then I started to travel with him at some point to Indonesia and to Washington, and we started to. I also got hired for an event in Tallinn, and then I got
In where? I'm sorry.
Tallinn in Estonia,
Okay.
where so really big events, and I got hired to go to Ukraine and Egypt and different. Just I was getting started to get hired all over the world, getting
That's
flown out
incredible.
and getting paid a lot of money just to go to events or retreats, whatever, and make after movies. And I was really good at it. But then the whole COVID stuff happened, and then Ukraine didn't go through, and Egypt didn't go through, and all that stuff. It all just went to zero, and
Okay.
then I couldn't really do anything with it. So then I started to teach my clients how to make their own videos and how to build a set like this, and the lighting and the sound and all that, because those people were getting paid $5,000 for an hour on stage, and all of a sudden now there's a dishwasher in the background, because now they have to be on Zoom and on those same events, and the quality just goes down, and so their perceived value goes down as well. So I was teaching them that. Then it became like a community, or yeah, what you were aiming at. I was making a video every single day for an entire year, right after my entire business went down, like 2 weeks after or something. I started to make a video every single day, teaching that to other people. And
Yeah,
again, I was really uncomfortable at the beginning.
that's what's so inspiring to me, Markable, is to hear about your essential failure, or we could not that you were in control of it, but the world came in down on all of us, right? And you were stuck, and instead of giving up or doing anything, you reacted and you created a plan that you followed through with, and you made yourself better. And and I've watched you get so much better than that since then. You know what I mean? So like it's just amazing, and that is the inspiration that you provided me, that I first saw what you did and I first heard your story with coffee. And I believe you were by yourself even for a stream, right? Before even coffee, didn't you come on? You came on with Brand first, right?
Yeah, with Brand, yeah.
Yep. And how did that all come about? Because that happened pretty fast. I mean, Crypto Coffee is a big influencer in all of crypto space, never mind just Hexagon space. So Crypto Coffee is somebody I used to watch before I called myself a Hexagon. And then to get that essential cosign from somebody that's so established, can do anything they want with their time, for him to see what he saw in you, you know, just like Brand, like, how did those guys find you? Did you find them?
I found them. So what happened was, because of the whole year of making a video every single day, which at the beginning I was shit, like I was complete trash. But I did it every single day, and I knew you would get really good at it then. So I did that. Then I found at some point after like 3/4 of that year, something, I found that, oh wait, Hex is doing really well. Like my Hex gains are pretty high right now from the point where it started with Bitcoin. I was like, oh wait, what's this again? And I started to look back in crypto again. I knew crypto was still shit, but Hex could be a thing. Then I started to watch a lot of videos, and I found, whoa, this community is something. And then I thought, well, this community is worth way more than my Hex gains. I better get in here, so that once my Hex gains are big, then I also have the community and I also have these contacts. I just saw the value in the community, or the opportunity in the community, before the community was like what it is right now. I saw it a little bit earlier, and I recognized the value in there. I just wanted to be part of it because it was fun.
What did you recognize? How did you recognize it? Because I felt the same thing. I've never articulated it before.
You got the logo, and then you got the name, the hexagons. Then you get a whole conference that just a random hexagon sets up. Then you have the
thanks, Markable. Thanks.
Yeah. Did you do it with Maddie?
Yeah.
I thought just Maddie was. I wasn't really.
Maddie definitely is the guy in charge of the conference. That's for sure. But Maddie and I set the whole thing up together.
Okay, cool, man. Well, then definitely a lot comes from you
Markable,
as well.
You would know that if you were watched Experience, Strength, and Hope. You know,
I'm sorry,
if this was not the first episode you ever watched, which you shared with me in the green room. So thank you. I just wanted to.
I'm sorry, man. But
yeah,
just
two random Mexicans. Back to that.
Then you get the stake wrap. You just get people build stuff, and then I also was a little bit on the crypto Twitter. I don't know. I just saw it, and I was like, sometimes, or a lot of times, in my head, I don't even make a decision. It's just, oh wait, this is logical, so we're doing that. It's kind of like a voice in my head that says, well, we're doing this now. Oh, we're going to do this now, because this is the best way to do it. It's kind of like if you would have two roads, and then one is a little bit more lit up, and so you just take that road. Like, that's kind of what happens in my head a lot of times, where I don't even think about the decision. I just go there because that's the obvious choice. So same with the community. I just saw, I knew about the product, I knew how strong it was, and then I was like, well, there's no way this community is going to be less. This community is going to be smaller, because look at this product. This is amazing. And so I thought, well, the community has to grow with the product. So better to get in the community now, so that I don't have to struggle to get in once Hex hits whatever ridiculous price. So it's kind of like a function of the price and function of the product, how good the community is, because it has to grow with it, because look how great it is.
Was there sort of a magnetic pull, because that's how I refer to it, or is it conscious for you? Like, is there something almost you couldn't, irresistible is I guess what I want to say, like it was
it just happened.
Okay.
Like maybe that's, you could say magnetic, like just happened. I just made that decision. Let's go. And I knew the power of video because I was making a video every single day. And so what I did is I went through a lot of live streams and I watched everything. Then I was more and more in the comments, and then on the Telegram chats I was also there, and I started to make a one name that was on Twitter, on YouTube, on Telegram,
Yeah.
just so that everyone knew my name constantly. I had a good picture so that everyone understood, all right, this guy understands quality. And then I was just I was listening to streams, and I understand that everyone can leave comments, everyone can type stuff. I understood that if I can make a meme, if I can make this thing of a specific part of a stream, and I just send it to the streamer, then the streamer is going to acknowledge me, like,
for sure.
he made something cool. Hey, this is pretty cool, and then he's probably gonna share it and whatever.
You're helping the production value for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I also I remember one time I had an idea of how to help the community, and I just made a video of myself and I put it in the Hex Telegram chat, and just everyone would see that video, and I was like, well, then people see I'm an actual person. People see I have something to add, and then people will probably like me a little bit better. So the next time they see my name, they understand, oh, that's that guy. And so how you're going to get how are you going to build value in someone's mind is, first they need to understand that you are this person, you are this face, or this image, or this name. Then, only then, once they understand this is one entity, then they can add all those things that entity is doing, and see how much value that is. But if they never understand who's doing it, then it's all cool things coming in, but they never assign that value to that one person. And so you first need to make them understand that there's a person or there's a thing that does something, and then let them connect all the cool things that person is doing. And so that's exactly what I did. It just, people saw my name and saw the image constantly the same, and then you're just doing cool stuff. You make sure that when you make cool stuff, people understand that that's you that's doing that, so they can assign that value. Then once you have enough value, you just say, hey, can I go on stream? And then they say yes, because you have stuff to share. I can remember actually send Bran a video on Telegram and just saying, hey, I have this and this, I can share this, can we have a stream together? And of course he says yes, because he saw me a few times in the chat. I have cool stuff to share. Of course, everyone wants content, so why wouldn't you, right? And then I got on Brand's thing, and right away I got on Coffee stuff, and then it would be really easy to let that die again, because you've been on some streams, yay, fun, cool, and then you go back to the chat. But wasn't enough for me, so I wanted to go to the FN Hangout where everyone could join anyway. So I would just go there so that more people or more streamers understood who I was. And then I just asked if I could go on Wake Up Hex, and I just never left. That's yeah.
Did you start Wake Up Hex with the crew, or did you join it?
No, I joined a little bit later.
Okay, I did feel like you started it with it, but I guess I just have a bad memory.
Well, it's because I'm at every Wake Up Hex. I almost never skip one, even if I'm away. I'm just there.
Then how did the outro come about then? That's
I don't know. I just was joking.
Was it an accident at first one time? Like, you know, the first time it happened?
No, yeah, I was done with streaming, and I was just saying outro, because I was just done with the stream. And then
a Wake Up Hex stream?
Yeah. I was just telling Kinetics to stop the stream.
You're just done. So.
Oh, that was it. I was done, but I also was still, the outro was still pretty new to me, or the intro and the outro. I hadn't seen it 100 times yet.
Yeah.
So I was just excited for the music.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So I just wanted to see the outro, and then Kinetics kind of made it a thing, and then, well, nice. It just works like that.
Yeah, it's very cool. But it makes me a little apprehensive, though. I got to be honest with you, because sometimes I don't know if you're late to the stream or you're coming on just to cut the whole thing out. So a couple times. You're just late joining the party, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna end the
The
stream right
outro.
now. And then no, they don't.
Exactly. But yeah, basically that's what happened, just because I wanted to be in the community and I knew there was some value, but I didn't. That's what I said. I understand opportunity before I understand what the opportunity is. And that's exactly what happened. I understood, okay, I have to be there. And from then on, I can make a decision if I stay or not. But at least just go in there and see what's happening. And now I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Like I'm the only work that I'm doing is in the Hex community. I'm making intros.
Awesome.
Although it's kind of slow right now, because I'm also learning. I'm also learning the CG and how to make stuff on the in 3D space and all the stuff that Crypto Kool-Aid makes. Shout out to Crypto Kool-Aid because he's helping me a lot. He's teaching me. I'm part of the Kool-Aid University, as I call it.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
It's just that's a lot of value that he's giving me, and it's just because I'm in this community, and that's one of those values that you will never be able to anticipate on. But it just happens when you're a cool person and you just want to learn something. Then someone wants to teach it to you, and then you can use it to build something that other people value, because he can't use it because he doesn't have the time to make those intros or to make those things. And so I'm just learning it so that I can do it for people. And in that way, I'm getting a lot of monetary value out of this community, but also a lot of teachings. And I just get better at making stuff. People are teaching me stuff about taxes, about real estate, about all kinds of stuff. And I now found that this community is way more valuable than the people that I know in real life, because most people are just doing the things and doing the standard things. And I noticed that I'm levels in front of people in my real life because they don't listen to people that we are listening to, or they don't have the conversations that we have in green rooms. And we actually talk about stuff that's actually happening in this world instead of the people outside.
Yeah.
Here talking about what's on the news.
Right.
And it's really cool to have that kind of community, and that's the real value that I got out of Hex. The prize is just fun, but most of it, like if all my money goes away now, I have all these contacts that can help me build something new or build a business, or the skills that I got or that I'm getting right now with the CGI. I can do it. I can apply that to anything. So even if all my Hex gains go away, I would care, but I don't.
No, I know what you mean, Markable. I feel the same
I'm not
way.
in a bad place then.
Yeah, I come from a similar background with it, seeking out education and doing well professionally. I don't know that I've ever experienced so much growth as I have over the last year professionally, and it's not in any one avenue. It's cool, and it's I just can't say thank you enough to you, because it's seeing you, what I assume was getting out of your comfort zone. I learned a lot today that I didn't know, but just to set the goal that you had and to realize that you weren't good because you're just starting out. Of course you're not. And then to know, like, you do something a couple hours a day for 365 days, you're going to be good. And
you're going to get pretty good at it. Yeah.
And I've been using that, what you do. Like, I'm not a graphic designer, but I didn't go to school for it. I don't have an education in it, but I did it a little bit for work out of school. And then I always had a passion for it. I always love art. I always love computers. But really, you're setting that goal is why I've been like really trying to just, I'm trying to do anything I can to make money. But if people don't have money, I'll work with them. And it just is what it is. I don't want anybody to take advantage. At the same time, I'm here to help the community. So, Markable, are you hireable right now to edit videos? Can anybody reach out to you right now? And
yes.
Okay, awesome.
Depends on what it is. Like nowadays, I'm at that point where I rather go skateboarding than that I or do something else than work 40 hours. But like the fun stuff and the stuff that I can learn from, or just when if I need some cash flow, yeah, I definitely do it. Cool people I'll always do the work for. And yeah, it's really cool to have that position where you can just decide if you're gonna get some work. But definitely anyone that wants to reach out, just reach out to me. I can make a a lot of different kinds of videos, and people will find out once I start to make a little bit more videos. Like I was for a month, I was in Portugal, and then I got sick. I got the Rona, so it was kind of like a delay of 6 weeks. But now I'm back back at home, back to work, and you're gonna see some cool stuff. And you got better at your graphic design as well, man.
Thank you.
With a thumbnail that with my beard, I freaking love that. And I've seen some other graphics from you, and it's interesting to see, because a few months ago, you wouldn't probably be able to make that stuff.
No.
And I noticed, and it's pretty cool to see.
You know what was cool for me? Thank you, Markable. I really appreciate that coming from you. That means a lot. What I wanted to add was limiting my palette, which was really cool for I wanted to do. Basically, I got hired at LDA, and I got to experience all these things outside Hex. That was beautiful for me to have somebody think that I was worth paying to help them in this avenue, this area of expertise that I didn't know existed a year ago. So to think that like, wow, I learned this topic this fast, and someone's going to pay me like this is amazing. And I was, homeless. I'm looking, I don't know where I'm going to work soon. To have that opportunity come, and then realize like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't, it doesn't matter how much I'm paid or what the job is. Like, if I'm just not into it, if I'm not passionate about it, if I don't love it, then I'm not going to do it. I can't take the time to go seek out a paycheck over working on something that I love. And so when the sacrifice phase popped off, and I was trying to think of, I want to something like what your goal of every day. I'm like, I need to make art every day. And how can I do that? And how can I help the community, the Hex and the Pulse community, while also working on my own strengths? So I wanted to limit my palette, while to help the branding of Pulse and Hex, to only do things inside of a hexagon with either one of those two color palettes. And you can imagine it's just by limiting your tools, you can figure out how to do a lot more, right? So I was pushed to the limit, right? And so I learned inside Photoshop just things about the inner shadow, outer shadow, the stroke, the drop shadow, how it all works together, and how you can really make something pop or cave in. And once you do that once, right? An example I wanted to say is Gold Key, right? Gold Key is to me the best graphic designer in our space. I've never seen a graphic designer in the Hexagon community or Pulse that I think can make better graphics than him. So he's my taste. He's the best. I saw what he did one time, and I just grabbed it and used it, and like, I didn't think twice about it, because that's how the community is. And he reached out to me like a total gentleman and brought it to my attention and what I was doing. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was weird what I was doing. I thought it was okay. So what I did was, though, instead of using his art in part of my art, I recreated his. And so his was beautiful, and I couldn't even imagine what it took to create that. But yet here I now had to recreate that, right? So like, having somebody in our community that is a full-blown professional that gave me the space to realize I could do this on my own. He could have came at me a different way, made me feel bad. He could have just not said a word, but
yeah,
life happened, and he let me know that was not appropriate what I was doing, because it was his art. And it wasn't the Hex symbol. It wasn't the Pulse symbol. When we're taking each other's art and doing stuff with it, and it's that, we're already copyright infringing on one another, or on the mark. But when it's not that, I'm in the habit of just grabbing this, grabbing that, grabbing this, grabbing that, and putting it together.
Of course.
Because I'm learning Photoshop. But then if the background is something that I didn't make, that's proprietary, a creation of art by somebody, I'm thinking like, well, I get it. But him saying that to me, and I appreciate that very much, Gold Key. Thank you. It pushed me to create this thing that like, I was blown away that I could do it. And it was because he set that example. I had to learn how to do it. And now that I got those tools down, everything since that day that I've made has been a step up and above. So I gotta shout out Gold Key for pushing me to be better.
That's cool, man. It's definitely how it goes. And once you understand those tools, once you have them, or once you make something really cool, you can always recreate it again and again and again. You can always use the tools that you're learning every time. And it's interesting. I had one really good friend of mine, and he's started to be depressed, and he really didn't really know what he wanted to do with his life, and he was just kind of stuck. And he started to talk with me because he saw me doing all kinds of cool stuff in his mind. And I just started to talk with him. Well, why don't you do this? Or why don't you learn video editing? Or why don't you learn this? Or why this? And he kept on saying, well, but what if it doesn't work out? And I completely understand where that comes from, but not doing it is not working out. Like it's, the cool thing is that if your graphic design stuff, if you all of a sudden get bored of it, or it doesn't work and no one wants to pay you or whatever, if it doesn't work out, well, okay, cool. Then you just stop doing it. But you will have that skill forever, because
For
you
sure.
never like if you don't ride a bicycle anymore for 10 years, after 10 years you can still ride a bicycle. And it's the same with the Photoshop. If you understand Photoshop, in 10 years it will probably be a little bit different, but it's probably the same principles. And so you can still do that stuff. And the same with my videography stuff. I made the decision to start filming stuff and just make some promo videos. I'm not doing that right now, but I do understand lighting now. I do understand audio. I do have the equipment. I have everything. And so anytime that I want to film something, I know how to film it, and then I'm an asset to someone else. That's with everything, man. It's even with, that's why I started to do a little bit of skateboarding since the beginning of this week. Like I completely started as a beginner, but I filmed it. Like I filmed the me getting better and doing real simple stuff for people that normally do skateboarding a lot. And I just put it on Twitter, and I know that it's not that impressive, but it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It inspired someone to do to move that day and to do basketball, and it inspired someone else to pick up a BMX or whatever. Exactly happened on Twitter. People got inspired to also move, and that's amazing.
And I noticed you got exponentially better, right? Just like with everything else. So it took said it took you a couple hours, 4 hours, I think you said maybe 8 hours
something
to
like
get
that
on that first
4
lift
to
and come up.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've skateboarded myself. My older brother, believe it or not, I've always looked up to him. He's way older, 20 years older, but I always was like comparing myself to him if I could someday be like him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was actually the New England skateboard champion when he was a little boy. So
sick.
I grew up with my brother being a superstar skateboarder, and we had a half pipe at the house next to me, and he bought me this beautiful Santa Cruz skateboard when I was a little boy. And I remember, dropping in and getting all the pads, and I couldn't do it, and I didn't stick with it, and I remember a couple times since then. So when I saw you do what you did, I know how hard that is. I know I wasn't able to do it. And so I got a kick out of your video. I didn't think much more than that, just some entertainment, quick entertainment. But there was the follow-up video that I made mental note, right? I was like, oh, good for you, because it was the next day, I believe. You're back with another
video. 2 days later.
2 days later. Yeah. And you went lip to lip, right? And all the way back again, and then you fell. But that's impressive. I like seeing that. So thank you for sharing it. And it's that progress and seeing your acceleration.
It's again, just do it a lot of times, and just accept that you're bad at the beginning. Just accept that it's not impressive what you're doing at all. But just have those small wins for yourself. That's amazing, man.
What about getting feedback when you're creating artistic creations, back to video or maybe graphic design?
I fucking hate it, but I get it. Like if people, especially at some point when I got good enough at making videos and just editing, I hated the feedback that I got from people, because I was like, well, there's a reason I actually did this, and this is why, and all these thoughts come up in your mind. But there's a reason why those people give feedback, because that's what they thought when they saw it. So there's some value in it. And even if they don't have the trained eye or whatever to see something that you see, well, that teaches you that maybe you should do it in a different way, because no one sees it in that way anyways.
Yeah.
Even if that's the wrong thing artistically, like, well, who cares? It's about making people enjoy it, so might as well make it for the people that enjoy it. But then also you have to make it so that you enjoy it.
What about now when you create something new? Do you have a group of 3 or 4 friends and a couple people in your family that you'll send like you'll blast it out to them and get that
No,
first
I
round
don't
of
care.
feedback?
I just put it online.
Okay.
Or if it's a client, I send it to the client. And I like to give stuff that is completely not done, just so that they can already give feedback from stuff
Okay.
before I actually finish it, because it's never finished the first time you think it's finished.
Yeah, for sure.
And so better not try to make it perfect and just send the skeleton of it all, than try to make it perfect and then it's not perfect at all, and you've spent 10 hours more on something that wasn't good anyways. So I just like the whole idea of showing people stuff that sucks. It's just cool, because people can already say, well, this sucks, and you can say, yeah, I know, but I was working on it anyways. So it's the same with it's with everything. And that's what I've been teaching my clients. When I was doing the video every single day, I was teaching the clients of how to create the story with your branding. It's not to show the end results, but show the entire journey to that end result. It's the same with what you said about the videos. The only reason you got a kick out of the second video is because you saw the first video.
Oh, for sure.
But the first video sucked. Well, it was a lot of fun, but like I sucked, and then it got better, and then you get that high with me, because now you see, oh wait, he went from here to here instead of, oh, he's here.
Right.
And I just love to get people into my journey to being good at something, because it feels like those when you're with me when it sucks, and you're with me when it's really cool, and it feels like you've done that stuff. There's a reason I always get this this example of when I was really young. There was on MTV, there was something I saw on television. There was some program where they would just help people get through something. Like, for example, and it was always teenagers, I think. But for example, a teenager that couldn't pick up girls, and they would teach him all kinds of stuff, and then all of a sudden he was mildly good at, and he would get a date or whatever.
I remember that. Yeah.
Or someone that is overweight like crazy, and then after a few weeks, everything's gone and everything's good. There's a reason why that program was so cool to watch and why it was so much fun. It's because you're at that sucky place where it just sucks, and then you go through that journey where you got to win, and then you got to lose, and then you got to win, and then all of a sudden you're at this place, and it feels like you lost that weight. It feels like you've done that work of being awkward with a girl, or doing the work.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're doing the work, or you're getting the results without doing the work, and that's really cool, because now you can just show people the whole journey, and people get as much dopamine out of it as you do, but they connect it to you instead of to themselves. So all of a sudden they see a relationship between you and them, and they build a relationship for themselves, and that's how your branding gets really strong with people. I stopped the whole community thing and the making videos every day for people and coaching the people. Just didn't really feel like doing it anymore. But I still get messages from people to come back or to make more videos or whatever, just because I was with them every single day for an entire year. People got a notification of me every single day for an entire year, and I was just teaching them stuff, or I was sad about something. I actually cried once on camera, put it on Facebook. I just
For
got.
why? What was that? What?
Oh, that was after I had the conversation with my brother, and
Okay.
I was sharing that with the people that were watching my videos. Like, oh wait, that's why I don't really understand the emotions, and it's important to show emotions on camera, and then just keep it authentic. And then there was a tear rolling down my face, and people loved the video.
Yeah.
But it's because you're going down, and then later you're going up, and then you're doing this, and then that's what makes people
Yeah, showing
bind themselves to.
real emotion, your real side. You're vulnerable.
Yeah.
That coming from a 12-step program, this experience, strength, and hope is directly taken from a 12-step program. It's 3 tenets of one I'm a part of, right? When we have meetings, there'll be what's called a speaker meeting. And so I'll have all of my peers in the fellowship that I know very well. Every once in a while, someone that I've heard speak, a minute here, 2 minutes there, they go up now and they're going to be the speaker for a half an hour, and they're going to provide their experience, strength, and hope. And every time when someone does that, I am so touched by that person. The relationship strengthens. You know, I want to sit right in the front, right there. I want to see everything. Like it's so good for me because I don't know how to explain it other than it's a beautiful thing to relate to somebody else's pain and to be there for them as they're there for you. And that's why I wanted to do this show over here. I had a special magnetic drawing towards it, and what I hoped was going to happen is that how I feel when I see those speakers leave the 12-step program and I have a greater bond with them. I was hoping that our community could do that, and not just through this show. There's other shows in our community that do it as well. So the cohesive accumulation of all of us will make it the whole community just tighter, right? And that's why I love for anyone to come on. You know, we talked in the green room. I said if we want to just talk Hex Pulse, you know, we can do that. But I'd love to get to know you, right? Because that's, to me, like I'm a fan of you, Markable. I'm a fan of RG3. I'm a fan of Hexologist. I'm a fan of many people in our community. I could go on. I could name 50 cutthroats right now that I'm a fan of, and I don't want to leave anybody out, so I won't. But I'm a fan at heart. And so I just want this community. I want to bring my little piece of expertise to the community. So my little background in marketing, my 12-step experience, right? If I combine all that stuff, I want to bring real value, right, to the community. So I appreciate when guests are willing to come on and open up and talk about being vulnerable and failure and how you really felt inside when maybe other people could laugh or make fun of you easily, you know? So, you know, thank you for doing that, for coming on, and you're an incredible inspiration. We still got more time, and I'm not, I'm not shutting down or anything. I just want to take a minute and say, thank you to everybody that's here watching the show, because this is very important to me. And if anybody else is out there that would like to join me on stream, just like Bran, I love being a guy in our community that can be known for a first-time streamer coming on. So I would love to have that happen. And it's crazy how things work, Markable. I didn't get a chance to really tell you, but Crypto J, I don't know if you're still here in the chat, brother, but he was in the green room with me before you and I went live, and Crypto J is going to be my guest this Monday night, and this is all happening organically. I did have a guest I look up to very much in the community. Second time he's canceled on me now, so I'm hoping that the third time doesn't come. I'm hoping we can make it happen in the next 30 days. He's a busy man, so I appreciate just having the opportunity for a maybe. But I had an open spot, and the way things just work organically was amazing. And if you want to reach out to any Hexican, if you're in the community, if you're newer and you just love Hex, you love Richard Hart, you love the positivity, everything all started with one of us reaching out to another one of us, right? And then we came on stream, we started a project, some people are starting businesses, right? Like it's just really amazing what can be done. And it just takes a little bit of inspiration of like following through, setting a goal, and our community is just jam packed with like examples of how to be successful,
For sure, man. And Yeah, I appreciate this show. I knew what was going on in this show. It's just it's an interesting thing, and I really appreciate you doing this, because we need to be a little bit more emotionally accessible to other people, and to just acknowledge each other's story, or more just acknowledge other people. And it's really cool that you're doing this, because I would never be able to. Well, I would be able to do this, but I wouldn't enjoy it as much as you are doing it. And it's just really cool to see your emotional intelligence on these shows, or on just whenever you speak. It's always about um, appreciating other people, and it goes really deep. And I listened to your story as well, and it's really it's inspiring, but it's just, I forget some words, but it's just really cool to
Thank you,
listen to
Markable.
your story, and it gives some depth to whatever we're doing in this life, and to appreciate stuff a little bit more, you know. And
Yeah.
it's it's really cool that you're doing this, because I saw Cryptomatic just have a comment: no other crypto community does these things, but people should be doing these things, and that's why you're doing it, I guess. And it's just really cool what you said. Like, it creates some depth with the if you understand some person's journey, and some person's background. It's just really important, because that's what makes a really strong community, for sure, because now you understand people a little bit more. It's only because I learned your story that I actually saw how deep things can go, and where that emotional intelligence comes from, or that appreciation for other people comes from. It's just really just really important
Thank
to
you,
learn about that
Markable. I
stuff.
want to tell you a little bit more about me just for a minute. I remember not too long ago, my wife telling me it was a heated moment in our history where I was really looking for inspiration, yet I was a alcoholic and an egomaniac, and I didn't know what the next step was going to be for me, for us as a family. And I remember looking over to my wife. We were driving, and I was worried about, it was either whether I was going to take the job, or whether I was going to get the promotion. I forget where. And I looked over, and I was like, you know what is it that I'm best at? It was when I was going to get the job, because as I quit my job, without notice. Very great job, very well paid. I just quit. It wasn't for me, and I didn't know what to do. And on the day that I quit my job, my wife came and said, "Honey, we're pregnant." Right. And so it was like this great, like, you got to be kidding me type thing. And I remember, fast forward to this moment where I asked my wife, "What am I best at?" Right. And the reason I want to say this story is because I have come full circle, right? And I want to sort of explain that a little bit. My wife looked over and said, "Being selfish is what you're best at." And she meant it, right? And it broke my heart. And it was something that, like, later I used to torment myself with drugs and alcohol, to hurt it was like I let that play in my mind, and she was right. And it ended up, I ended up going down a path that brought me to my rock bottom. And it was there that I found that the only way that I'm ever really happy or feel fulfilled in life is when I'm doing something for somebody else. And it's hard, because I know this, and I've set out on a program, on a path, and I do that, but I fail a lot as well. And I fall back into being egotistical. I get very hurt if I feel like somebody forgot about me or something, or, hey, I thought we were going to do this, now you guys are doing that. Oh, and then you bring money into it. I was mentioning, like, I want to work on my passion. It's great to get paid, but it's like all these things. I am so blessed to be in this community, because this community has inspiration everywhere I look. And I came with a great skill set from my 12-step program, but it wasn't too long ago that I was a complete mess, and so I hope that I can inspire someone out there that's, like, just starting to get their shit together, and realizes, like, a year and a half ago, I was dead. 2 years ago, I was dead. A year and a half ago, to last year, suicidal. Been homeless, not a friend in the world at one time, right? Because I had alienated everybody. And now to be back in this community, Markable, for you to give me that feedback, thank you. And you know, my wife will see this episode. She's, you know, we have a great relationship now again, and we're working on our family. And you know, for her to hear something like that, for her to see in people's eyes that they've met her husband and I've been the man she married, it's just this world is, this life is wild and it never stops. And if you just keep pushing along and just keep going, you'll make it. Because trust me, if I can make it, I know you heard a million people say this, but really, like, I've been the worst, biggest piece of shit in the world. There's nobody worse than me. Nobody. And here I am getting this positive feedback from this great guy, Markable Thoughts, and here we are having this show that I want to do. And I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for any other reason other than I want to give to something bigger than me. And if I can do anything in the world, what would I do? Well, I now can do anything in the world. I now have financial freedom. And so to be on screen, you know, stream here with you, Markable, to be in the Hex community, like I feel so blessed. And I want to continue to hopefully be on a team that inspires others. And, you know, anytime you're starting up a team, Markable, I want to be on that team. So
Let's go.
thank you.
It's interesting when you said that your wife said that you're the best at being selfish. I actually smiled because I thought that was a great compliment.
Really?
Like man, that's amazing. Like, people should be a little bit more selfish sometimes, but
I took it to the extreme, Markable. It was
I
the Joe
understand
show.
where it comes from. Yeah. But like, I'm a really selfish person, but there's a difference between selfish and I haven't found a proper term for it, but right now I will call it sophisticated selfishness. Because the most selfish thing you can do is help someone else, because literally, and some people say, well, that's weird, or that's it's not the right way of doing it. But literally the only reason why I'm helping people is because I know that if I help people, my life gets better in whatever way. And most of the time I don't even know what way, but my life gets exponentially better if I help other people. And if I don't help other people, my life gets worse. And so the most selfish thing you can do is help other people. But the best thing you can do is help other people with the reason of being selfish. Because if you help other people just for the reason of helping other people, then you're getting too involved in those people's lives, and then you start to do stuff for people that they don't want you to do, and then you're actually not helping them, and then in that way you're not helping yourself. And that's how I've been living my life for the last 3 or 4 years. I've only been helping people if it works out for me. I've only been helping people for selfish reasons, and it works out amazing, man. It's one of those things that is really overlooked, but it's really powerful once you understand how much you help yourself by helping other people. That's what we've been saying, right? If you just help the people, and then they give you money. If you just help the people, then they give you this. It's, don't do it for the transaction, but do it because you know the transaction will occur anyways. And
yeah, I know what you mean. It's okay, because at first, when you learn do unto others and karma, I don't think you should be taking this selfish approach like what you're saying. I think like there's a moment where you don't have that, but then once you realize, you're right, Markable, because I do things for other people because I do want to feel better myself. And I know that no matter what comes of it, me being out of my own mind and doing something for somebody else is enough. And I know it doesn't happen every time like this, but a true story, and those of you that have been with me here for a year, and my friend Hex Live can vouch for me, as somebody that was on their way to being a millionaire in Hex, but didn't have an income and was struggling financially. Like my nest egg was in Hex, and then now I don't know what I'm going to do. And my friend Hex Live, he's very successful in every aspect of life, but this particular life financially, in this particular aspect financially. And he has some work around his house that he was going to hire somebody to come do, and pay them a good amount of money, but like side work amount of money. And I asked, could I come do this? Give me 1 second. Papa Boner. I'm on Telegram, brother. I mean, Papa B's calling me on Telegram. I'm on stream, Papa B, if you're not watching. So I was, as someone that's made quite a bit of money, 6 figures for sure, and half that in bonuses. Get a big chunk of money as a bonus. It's nice sometimes to get that type of money, and then to be thinking about going down to the grocery store and like going down to the restaurant to be a waiter, or calling my friend Hex Live to see if I can come help out, because he's paying $25 an hour, and like that's a lot of money when I'm thinking about maybe half that, right? And like this is not long ago. This is in 20. It's either, I believe it's 2020. I'm sorry, 2021 that this happened. I believe we're in this year that this happened. And so I had to really humble myself, because I'm in this big, beautiful house by myself. I don't have a job. I'm not with my family, and I need work. And my friend Hex Live is going to provide that. So I'm going to leave my big, beautiful house. I'm going to drive over there, and I'm going to put my hands and my body to work, and I'm going to do whatever I can. Right. And it was getting there mentally to do that. And this is just one example, and it doesn't always work like this, but this is how I selfishly took control of the situation, and the result was spectacular. So I drove over there. It's about a 25-minute drive, and as soon as I get off the highway, I give people money, homeless people and alcoholics and drug addicts. I give them money, right? And I'll tell you that because I don't do it for God, right? And like if I tell you that I can't do it for God, I'm telling you. So I do it to help them, and I do it because I can put myself in their shoes, and I know they're going to go buy drugs and alcohol. I don't expect them to not, right? And so I would like to get them food and drink and water, right? If I could, like if I could take the time to help somebody. And because of, and you know what, I'm glad I'm able to bring this up, Markable, today, because Freddie Quotes is very impactful to me in this community. And him doing the hoodies for homeless is really what got in my mind. I was going to do that with Freddie this year. I was going to contribute, and I dropped the ball and I didn't. And so I did nothing for Freddie's hoodies for homeless. And I felt terrible. And that was always in my mind. And that day I got off the highway, so I had some time, and I didn't have any money because I'm going to, work for money, but I did have a credit card, and I saw this guy, and I thought, you know what? Like, I need a good round of karma right now. Like, I'm going to go get this dude. I'm going to go put myself in his shoes. I'm going to walk in that grocery store or the gas station store. I'm going to get him everything that I want to get right now. Like, if I was going on camping away for the weekend, like this is the stuff I'd grab. And so I went and I got it, and spent $35, $40. And I remember this is so crazy, because I'm walking this bag over to this homeless gentleman across the street, and I hand it to him, and he's, doesn't do a backflip because I gave it to him. He just says, thank you. And I start walking away, and it's so crazy because I felt like so good for 1 second. I felt so good. And then this other homeless man that was coming across the other way, he goes, what the do you think you're doing? Don't give that man that shit. What are you, some kind of idiot? Right. And just like completely took it, like stole that from me, but like, but I gave that to that man, and I felt good for that moment, but I did it selfishly, like you're saying. And now I shouldn't swear to God. I don't know what the right thing is. From my heart, like this is how it happened. As I'm leaving that homeless man and driving away on my buddy to his house, my wife called, who we hadn't been talking for months. I don't think I spoke to her in 90 days, maybe even 120 days. And holidays had passed during that time. It was very difficult, right? And in that moment, my wife called. I answered the phone. I never made it to my buddy's house to go work, even though I was willing and I had humbled myself. I turned my car around up in New England, and that day, that moment, I drove to Florida. right? And I reunited with my girls, my 2 young girls and my wife. So like I selfishly controlled that situation to do something for somebody else. And oh my God, did I get this great benefit, you know? And I know I understand that's not going to happen every time. That's a miracle.
Well, it's not supposed to.
Right.
Oh, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you. Like happy to share it, Markable. Thank you.
I like that story. Yeah, it's cool. And it's I've had people ask me why everything that I'm doing seems to work out. I've had multiple people actually asking me why everything just works when I try it. I don't even necessarily see it that way, but now people have repeated it so many times that I kind of started to believe in it, which makes it kind of true. But I really think it's basically because I just want to help other people, because I just know it works. Like, that's just how stuff works. People were supposed to live in tribes, and it's better to do stuff for the other people.
For sure.
And then they make everything better as well. Like, everything just gets better once you start to understand how deep it actually goes when you just do stuff to make the situation better. Whatever the situation is, just make stuff better. It comes down to the smallest things, but also the biggest things, right? Like, in general, my life is great, but it's only because in general, I like making life better in general. And in micro terms, that means I like to make the better decision, because I like to make everything better for everyone. It's not always been like that. I always see it as kind of like a spiral. You either spiral up or you spiral down. And I've been spiraling down for a while when I was in high school, and I caught myself at the moment where it was still pretty, like, relatively easy to get up again. But I was always negative in my thinking, like, oh, I can't do that, so I won't try. Oh, I can't do that, or this is not for me, and all that stuff. Real easy, what comes up in my mind, my brother was doing handstands. Like, he was able to do a handstand, but only because he had been trying every single day. And I told myself, that's not something that I would be able to do ever. And then that was when I was spiraling down. And then I slowly started to make decisions. Oh, wait, I can do this. So then I started slowly to lose that weight of the 20 kilos that I was heavier than my twin brother. And I slowly started to get better at doing handstands. And I slowly got better at saying yes instead of no to life and things and opportunities. And then slowly it started to get into that middle where you're not spiraling down again, but you're not spiraling up. It's just fine. And then you keep going up, and then all of a sudden you're spiraling up and everything works. And because everything works, everything starts to work better. And because everything starts to work better, you get to you get to know more people, and then stuff works even better. And then you understand, wait, if my skills are shit right now, doesn't really matter, because you know everything will work out anyways. And it's because of that spiral that it gets easier and easier to get everything that you're doing right. And yeah, it's just amazing. And eventually you're not even doing things for yourself, but you're just doing things because you want to do the thing, because it helps other people. And once you're there, then you're kind of at that peak of that positive loop, because it just so happens that if you do stuff for other people, then it always comes back to you, and it always keeps on going, and you're winning and everyone else around you is winning, and then everyone around you wants to be around you because everyone is winning. It's exactly what Richard is doing with Hex. It's exactly what he's doing with Pulse. Everyone that interacts with him is winning if it's a positive loop. And so that's why this community is so great as well, because everyone is in that positive feedback loop where everyone wants to do stuff for other people, and so everything gets better.
Are you familiar with the torus shape? Torus.
Yeah, it's like the donut.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
actually also the shape that Gold Key requested that I not take from him, his artwork
Okay.
that I had to recreate.
I haven't seen it.
What it is though is the donut shape that I think you can picture. It's what the gravitational field is.
Yeah.
So that if you were to superimpose, I'm sorry, I don't know the right word. It's a donut, right? If you picture a donut,
Yeah,
and
and
then
the
you saw
energy
the
goes
gravity.
like this around
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, and it just listening to what you just said, Marco, what made me think of that shape, because it's like when you're down the bottom, the spiral, and like for you to get through that part, like it's almost like there's a wall, that limbo part, and then you sort of like once you get up to the top, like I was thinking like everything's easier and you're propelled away, and it's like if you can visualize the torus shape, you can see it. It's like getting past that midpoint is, I don't know, everything just becomes dynamic, beautiful, fluid, and cohesive, and it's I don't know. I just wanted to
No,
share
I
what I
completely
was
understand.
thinking.
Yeah, and at some point, the cool thing, what I just thought about, um, the interesting thing is at some point, everything is going so well that you're able to make the better decision, even if it's selfishly not the best decision at the moment. Like the easiest example I have is with women. I When it doesn't feel right, or it feels forced, or it feels more lust than actual feelings, then I'm the I'm the guy that says, yeah, let's just wait a little bit, or let's just not do this. Let's just sit here and just have a conversation. And it's maybe not always the thing that I selfishly want at that moment, but it's the best thing for at least her, that I
Yeah,
just already know. Because so many people are so broken, and they just need some people to listen to them and to just have a conversation in a way that most people have never had. And so once you make that decision, because your life is great anyway, so you don't necessarily need this for your own good, then all of a sudden you're helping people at such a deep level, and people start to cry and understand things about their lives that they've never understood. And then, man, then you're those people, you will never lose those people. And it's again we're back at the spiral, right? Because you never lose those people, and then they want to help you even more because you've unlocked something in their lives. It's like you're always in that position where you can choose the toxic way of doing things, and then it just gets easier and easier to do the right thing. But you still need to make the decision. Just gets a lot easier, and then everything just gets better.
you're
Coming back.
a wise man, Markable. For 24 years old, you're well beyond your years.
Yeah, I feel 80 in my head. And I'm probably the only person you're ever going to meet that is actually going to say, "Can't wait until I'm 80." I would love to be 80.
Say
Just
that
sit
again. You're the only person that what till you're 80?
that tells you that I would love to be 80. I would love to be 80 years old. Just have a beard like this, just sit back and just talk to people. Just sit there and think, "Yep, I've done all of that." It's just fun to think about how I would sit there and talk with young people.
Yeah, my dad's in his 80s. He spends every morning down at Dunkin' Donuts with his buddies. So they go and people watch and talk about what's going on. And
It's just the best, man.
I just turned 40 actually this week. So
Oh, congratulations, man.
thank you, Markable. I certainly never thought I would even reach 20. So definitely not 40. To see my dad, who's 85, it's just it's really cool. So I know what you mean. I can imagine being that age. With what we're doing as a community with life extension, living a healthier life. Our community promotes a lot of really good, like, not even Easter eggs. It's not just promote the good ways to live, physically, spiritually, mentally, gym rat crypto. is going to be coming on the show. Experience, Strength, and
nice.
Hope this next month in September. You know, Franklin St. Hex, the Ski Cat Challenge and Hexo. Like, these guys have an impact on how I feel about myself physically. And I'm not working out. I'm not building my muscles. If anybody saw me at the pool in Vegas, you know that. But I am conscious of what I eat, and I am healthier, you know, and like it's just getting a little bit better, and it's really because of this community. So it's what, you know, what don't we have in this community? A dentist is all I can think of. I was trying to, you know, tell my nephew brought his dentist into the community, and I was like, get him on stream. I don't think I can think of a dentist. So, you know, but we got it all here, and it's just amazing. We're gonna close out in about 10 minutes here. So I wanted to just touch base with you, Markable, on when you touched on getting into Hex and how you found Richard. I guess what I'd like to hear from you to close out is, what are your goals for the next year in Pulse, in Hex, in the Hexing community, as a cutthroat? What do you have set? Maybe short term, maybe long term, but that's something that you haven't achieved before. Do you have that? Are you okay to share it if you do?
Oh yeah, I'm the person with the least amount of secrets for anyone.
I mean, you're not secretly wanting Kinetics' job, and you're not going to be able to say that on stream right now. You're not going to be the host of the Wake Up Show, right?
I don't want to be the host. Okay. You should be in the Wake Up Hex Telegram chat, man. Every time, 5 minutes before Papa B starts to whine about the link, I don't want to be the guy that has to provide the link. That's not, Kinetics can do that, man. I want to be on Papa B's team and whine about the link.
I would love to be in that Telegram chat. If you can get me in there, Markable, put in a good word for Kinetics for me, brother.
I can ask them, man.
See if you can pop me in there.
Yeah, for the next year, have fun, chill a little bit more, because that's kind of my thing, I guess, here. No, I'm learning a lot about CGI, learning a lot about the 3D modeling space and how to make some really cool art on the computer. So I'm definitely going to learn a lot more about that. That's why I want to take those intro video jobs as well. I literally, I just told the guys, well, I want to try this. So we're going to do this, and it's going to be epic. Just takes a little bit more time. But definitely, like, that's one skill that I really want to master this year. Just like I mastered editing. Like, I'm not the best editor that you will ever find, but I'm a really good editor. And that's what I want with the 3D stuff as well, to be able to have something in my mind and then just make it.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. And so I want to learn that.
Till then is I just want to pause for a second, because if you are learning something new, that does stop a lot of people. And that's what I was trying to express before about learning about Photoshop, the stroke and the shadow and everything, is like those details. Learning that before I knew that, I had in my mind, this isn't good enough. My work was never good enough because I didn't know how to do what I wanted to do. And so when you can actually learn how the software works, and you have a vision in your mind, and then you can actually make it happen, that's a beautiful thing. It's
the best feeling ever, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of like learning a trick on a snowboard or on a skateboard.
Absolutely,
I'm better at snowboarding, but
nice.
That's
snowboard as well.
I've been doing it for 13 years now, something like that. 10 years, something like that.
I think I've been doing it for about the same.
At some point, man.
I would love that. But I haven't been in like the past 5 or 6 years, but I would love it. I love it.
But like, it's the same with a trick or something that you want to do. You fail so many times, and it's frustrating, and then you do it, and it feels amazing, man.
Yeah.
But the only reason why it feels amazing is because it sucks so bad to get there. And it's all about that learning as well. So yeah, basically, I just want to learn that, just to have that skill. I would love to be able to make stuff like that, because I'm a pretty visual person. I see stuff and I want to share it with people, but I can't, because I don't know how to make it. But I'm gonna learn that. And then for Hex and Pulse, I don't really care what's happening there. Like, it works. I'm in there. Gains. Yay.
I mean us though, like in the space,
The
you know,
community.
yeah.
Well, just being kind of the same. I kind of want to just be the
I love that.
inspiration of um, having that depth of knowledge, but also understanding that life's pretty fun and you shouldn't take it that serious. Because a lot of people always get into arguments and all that stuff. Um, stuff doesn't really hit me because I'm on my path and I understand what I'm doing. And I'm just having fun regardless. And that's why I think a lot of people say that I'm chill. It's because I really don't care what's happening. I know myself, and it's just more fun to be chill and to just have fun. And it also opens up the opportunity for other people to let go and stop trying, just be themselves. And that's how people start to like you, because then the pressure is off and you can just hang out like people instead of trying to get to certain status or whatever you want to convey to other people. I just kind of want to keep it real. And in the community, I also don't really have ambition to grow as a public speaker or a influencer or whatever. I just want to hang out with cool people, make sure that everyone's chill level is good, is on the right level instead of everyone fighting. Just have a good time and be successful with everyone, I guess. I would love to do some more jobs for people, but that kind of comes together with the 3D stuff. I don't just want to make stuff. I want to make stuff that's valuable to other people. So that's kind of comes together then. So awesome. I guess
that's very cool. I was curious if I guess have you reached your fulfillment professionally and business wise so that you don't need to accumulate any more money in that arena? So like you do want to work obviously for some money, but it's I guess I'm asking, it seems like by your answer that you don't have, I was expecting maybe you're going to start this business or I'm going to do this, right? But like by what you just said is amazing, because what's important to you is not that, right? Like it's everything you just said and being a part of everything. And
I just had a conversation with my parents yesterday of why my business is not making any money right now, like nothing. And it's only because I had something really cool going on. Like I was building my own social media website or platform. I was starting to make it for my clients, and they would pay me every month high prices to get a platform from me because I made it. And it was going really well, and it was going to a place where I would start to earn at least 10K a month just passively for the coming year, but not really passively. Like I would become a slave to my business, short term at least, but probably long term as well. And I already saw myself going through that into that rabbit hole. I didn't want to do it, so I stopped everything just to hang out in this community and to learn some new skills, because I know money comes out of skills anyways, so it will come back anyways. But I had this conversation with my parents, and I told them I don't want to do stuff, and it's really weird for them because that's how they spend most of their lives, right? But I couldn't care less about having a great business or having this amount of cash flow or whatever. I want enough to have a cool life and to help other people, because what I couldn't care less about having a few million more, because you won't spend it anyways. But I do want to create something really foundational. Like what I would love to have is a piece of land, a really cool house, and then build some maybe regenerate the land around it to become a new forest again, or to regain some water levels on that ground, just to create more life on this world, because everything's becoming kind of deserted and stuff. I would love to regenerate a piece of land and make it a food forest, so I can just live off of that piece of land without me doing a lot of stuff. Just let the ecosystem do the thing. Yeah, so definitely the next step is kind of like buying a property and learning more about agriculture and learning more about permaculture and stuff like that.
Are you going to be moving to the United States ever? Are you happy with
No, I
okay.
don't. I would never want to live in the United States. I really don't like United States. I like the nature, but like the rest and the people. But
will you always stay in your home country, or would you like to travel the world?
No, maybe I will go to Portugal. I don't know. That's why I went on holiday to Portugal, just to check it out. There's like Netherlands, pretty cool. It's really small, so the land is really expensive, and everything's really packed together. And I don't really like the sound of of roads and of cities and all that stuff. But when everything's packed together, there's always some noise in the background. And when I was in Slovenia a few months ago, I got into a forest, and I was so deep into that forest and on an open plain, and all of a sudden I didn't hear anything. And that made me realize how much of an impact background noise has on our lives. Like, you always hear a computer, or you always hear some cars driving somewhere, or a light that flickers, or you always hear that stuff, but it's not natural sounds, and it's kind of just messes up your
circadian rhythm.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but it just felt really cool to don't have those sounds. So I really want to go to a place where there's just no sound, or just nature sounds like birds and whatever. But yeah, I want awesome. To create a place where people can also just come to rest. And
I mean, it sounds like Henry Island. Is it Henry Island?
Henry Island, dude. Yes, yeah. It's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah, man. But yeah, something like that. It's cool. A few years in though.
Well, Markable, I'm not sure. What should we do to end this stream here?
I saw T-Bird just commented, DM me. I do regenerative permaculture. I live in silence. Our disconnect from nature is a large part of human problems.
Yeah, he's someone definitely.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I didn't even know that. See, that's the cool thing about this community. There's always someone that has some extra knowledge. It's so cool, man.
And about exactly what you're saying. He's the guy. That's for sure. It's impressive what he's doing. It's so foreign to me, so far out there. It's really cool.
Definitely will message him. That's cool. Yeah. And real quick, in Portugal, before I went to on the trip, I told myself I'm going to meet exactly the right people that I need to learn more about the permaculture and stuff. And the last day that I was there, we got invited to a retreat center of 2 random people that I found on the street, and I just told them their van was cool. I had a conversation with them. They invited me to their house. I spent the entire evening there eating food from their own land. And awesome. They have some volunteer programs going on to teach people about the permaculture and to have the whole thing self-sustaining and all that. And we're exactly the right people to meet to learn about that. So I'll probably go there in February or whatever. It's just cool to have those people. But
hang on 1 second. On top, just to compound on that, if you don't, I don't see any reason. I was going to try to.
Whoa, we got 21 cents now.
Yeah, at the start of the show. Okay, it's hard not to throw that on stream.
Okay, but go on.
My nephew is Hex Vader, right? He's new to the community. He's actually my nephew. He's approximately your age. He's a brilliant young guy, and he's creative, and he's everything you just talked about, Markable. That's what he does, right? Like, he does it for work, but he wants to leave work and go do exactly what you just said. So I'd love to just, you want to make sure Hex Vader's my nephew. I'm going to tell Hex Vader, reach out to Markable, maybe just become friends at some point. So I just want to throw that out there because of what T-Bird was saying. It's I didn't know that there's 3 people in the community. I forgot my nephew's doing that, and it sounds like you guys would all hit it off. So
that's cool, man. Yeah, let him message me. That would be cool.
Shout out to everybody here.
Yeah, thanks for people in the chat, man. Oh, Henry is also watching.
Henry just popped up. That's why I'm saying that.
Nice.
All right, brother. Yeah, if you were picking up what I was throwing down earlier, I wasn't sure how you and I could close this out, but looks like Children of the Grave had an idea. Markable, you have any ideas?
Oh yeah, outro.
Oh, you see, I got it.
Do you have an outro? Give me an outro.
I don't have an outro. And
just play the Nagabo video again. Man.
Oh, you played
again.
Something.
Play the Nagabo video.
I could play the 30-second countdown or the Nagabo video.
Nagabo.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Markable was great.
See you later, guys. I would love to do this one more time because there's so much more to say.
We'll definitely do it again, Markable. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Ciao.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Motherfucking jackpot.